Hello everyone, and welcome back to my channel. In today's video, we're gonna find out how bad this 6-year-old legendary i7-4790K will bottleneck the RTX 2080 Ti, and also will give you an idea if it could handle the upcoming RTX 3070. But before that, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe down below, and thank you for watching. Alright, so before I begin with this bottleneck review, I would like to ask everyone for a small favor. Please go ahead and hit the like button down below. It really helps to grow the channel, and I appreciate it very much. Now, if you're new to my channel, go ahead and hit the sub button down below along with the bell notification. That way you could stay up to date on my latest videos. If you're looking for a channel that shows you the most accurate, best benchmarks when it comes to the video games out there, then you come to the right channel. So let's begin with this build here. This is one of my older rigs that I kept around for many years. In my opinion, the i7-4790K is still quite relevant today in 2020, and that's what you will see once we get to the benchmarks. Now, doing some research prior to this video, looking at some benchmarking videos and some charts showing that this 4790K is getting beaten by everybody, by all the AMD processors, the 3rd gen, 2nd gen, or it's a lot less performance wise compared to the newer i7s like the 9700K and stuff like that. In my opinion, and that's what I'm going to show you, I really disagree. Again, I'm a low budget gamer. It took me many years to build this. I did not get this at brand new prices. Little by little, it took me many years to get this build here, and I'm here with you guys. I could never just go ahead and buy the latest and the greatest off the bat and pay the full price. It usually takes me years to get everything together. So that's what I'm going to show you. I don't really have no bias. I'm just going to show you the real benchmarks, the real results, and I was very impressed. I really didn't see any bottlenecking, and you'll be the judge. By the end of the video, you guys let me know what you think. Leave some comments down below. And in my opinion, to get the best results, you really have to have the right hardware. A good motherboard, stuff like that, good power supply, all the drivers up to date, have everything running light, nothing running in the background, and you will get the good results like you should. And also, you'll notice that some people every year they just want to upgrade to something else because they're seeing that their other newer hardware is so much better, but it's not always the case. So what we have here is a AsRock Z97 Extreme 4 motherboard paired with the i7-4790K, which is overclocked to 4.6 gigahertz on all cores. I might go up to 4.7, but it appears so far in some of the games the temperatures are a bit high, so we're going to see how that goes. As you could see, this motherboard does support the M.2 option, and that's what I'm using here as the boot drive, just a standard Samsung 128 gig M.2, not an NVMe. This board does not support NVMe, so it works well right away. It worked off the bat, so that's what I have for boot. And a secondary drive, I have a standard 1 terabyte Western Digital SATA drive for the games. Really good, really good combination if you're on a budget. What we have here is also 16 gigs of EVGA, DDR3, 2400 megahertz RAM, and also if you want to get the best FPS results, I definitely recommend minimum of 2400 megahertz for the 4th generation platform. They're very easy to work with. Here, all you do is activate the XMP profile, and you're good to go on the 2400 megahertz. If you don't do that, I believe this one starts you off at 1333 megahertz, which is like the default setting. So you definitely want to do that first, and then go ahead and do your overclock. For cooling, we have the Corsair HX 240 millimeter radiator, all in one. does its job, but it could only do so much because this processor is pretty old, and eventually the thermals go. So in those cases, you kind of got to play around with the clock speed and voltage. I think I'm running only at 1.250 on this here at 4.6, and it seemed to be running pretty good. For the power supply, I have another oldie here, a Corsair HX 850 watt power supply. This is a silver rated semi-modular. Plenty of power for this setup here. It's a very old processor, probably one of the oldest parts in this rig here. But it does its job, it looks nice, and I'm happy with it. And I'm sure you're well aware that due to certain demands, the power supplies right now have skyrocketed in prices. That's probably one of the most expensive components that actually went up, and that's annoying. You really, have to spend good money on anything for 750 and up wattage. So some of these old ones are still pretty good. For the lighting here, we have 520 millimeter blue LED ring style fans to give that nice look. I also have a blue LED strip underneath to give a nice lighting. And for the case, this is a nice sleek old-fashioned case, Corsair 550D. It's very sleek. It's no window panel, but I really like these cases from back in the day. They're really easy to work with. There's plenty of room here. For better airflow, you could remove that hard drive caddy on the right, but I'm leaving it now. But you could remove that for a better airflow, or you could just maneuver the radiator also. So there's plenty of options. I also have a DVD drive on top. I know those are pretty irrelevant nowadays, but it's a nice little feature to have. And yeah, that's pretty much it for the build. Once again, we are using the RTX 2080 Ti for this test to see if there's any bottleneck, and also to give you an idea if you're if you still have this old platform and you want to upgrade your graphics card to the RTX 3070, from what we're seeing right now, that it is on par with the RTX 2080 Ti, which makes it a fantastic bargain, card ever, I would think. Then you kind of get an idea. Do you need to get a whole new system for the RTX 3070 or a 2080 Ti? Well, I'm gonna answer those questions for you in this video. In my conclusion, I say no. If you have all your stuff running right, nothing in the background, you have the right overclocks, there is no bottleneck. If there is, very little, and definitely in 4K you're not going to see it at all. I'm getting, actually, believe it or not, same numbers in 4K than your latest and the greatest processors, both from AMD or Intel. You be the judge. You take a look. You let me know what you think. So without further ado, let's get to those benchmarks. So stay tuned. Alright, so the first game we're going to test is Battlefield 5. We are looking for bottleneck. So we're going to do 1080p resolution, max settings, and 4K resolution, max settings. And we're going to determine if there is bottleneck with this old hardware plus the RTX 2080 Ti. So let's take a look. Alright, let's go over the settings. As you can see, we're on 1080p, 60 hertz monitor here, full screen. Alright, and DirectX 11, of course, as it's still the best option, I think, on most of these games. And there it is, all the settings maxed out. Very nice. Let's see what we got here. Let's see. Opa, what's that? Alright, so here it is. These are the kind of numbers you could expect with the graphics card like this. Really a good card. And unfortunately, like they said, everyone who just recently purchased it and the new card is coming out in October. Whew, that's a tough one. Luckily I got this one for a good deal, so I don't feel too bad. But Oh well, what are you gonna do? So yeah, we're just gonna play around to see what's going on here. Hopefully I don't get killed really quickly. Yeah, so as you could see, we're getting very good, you know, very good frame rates. I think those are pretty good. I don't know what you guys think, but oh, this guy is sneaky. Alright, so as you could see, you know, we're getting, you know, pretty good frame rates here. Also, if you take a look, you know, at some of the modern processors combined with this, you know, with this graphics card, I think you'll be getting pretty much the same FPS. So I'm not really sure, you know, if there is bottleneck, but I don't see it. You know, I think it's pretty good. Now I know you guys see the temperatures here are getting pretty hot. Again, I think one of the reasons for that is because I'm getting such really high frame rates where, you know, you saw it at times at 200 FPS on the 1080p resolution, and they should come down on 4K. That's just, these things happen when you got everything running optimum. It's kind of weird how that happens, specifically with this game. So now we're moving into the 4K. Let's see, just to show you once again, we're at 4K, everything maxed out. That's just where you want to be at. Yeah, now we're gonna get, you know, the frame rates are gonna come down. I can hide here a little bit. Oh. Yeah, let me reset the average. Alright, there you have it. So we are now in 4K, really pushing it hard here. You know, averaging around, you know, above 90 FPS most of the time. Pretty good, I think that's pretty good. Oh, these guys are right here. Very sneaky. I really don't like this weapon too much, but that's what I started out with. Yeah. So yeah, that's pretty good, I think. Oh, that looks nice. And again, we are fully maxed out on the settings here, not with anti-aliasing off or anything like that. I see a lot of people testing when you're in 4K, you really don't need that, but I have it on, and that lowers your frame rates, of course, if it's on. So we're on full. Ooh, this is a nice shot right here. Yeah, look at this guy just standing here. I better get him. Hey. That's weird. I can't even... I'm hitting him. Oh boy. Oh. Oh, I better run. I better run. Alright, well, I think that concludes for this game. Again, I don't see much bottleneck. So let's go on to the next one. Alright, so here we have Control. This is one of the more popular games to test out with the newer hardware. And in this game, we have really no problem running this on 1080p at really good frame rates. So let's take a look at the settings here. Okay, we're at full screen 1080p rendering resolution, and we're on the high quality preset right there. Everything on the max setting. Of course, we're not doing any ray tracing testing today, so that's it right here. And we are running this game on DirectX 11, very important to know. And now what you noticed is I have this processor now clocked to 4.7 gigahertz on all cores. Previous game was Battlefield 5, 4.6 gigahertz, and the temperatures were out of control. It always happens sometimes with the Battlefield 5. When I get the frame rates running up so high, especially on 1080p, then the temperatures just go nuts. I don't know what happens with that game, but I'm sure I'm not the only one who gets the really high temperatures. That's one game, and I think another game that runs pretty high is Gears 5. But here we are on 4.7. Look at the temperatures on the processor. Real nice, real good. And these are the kind of frame rates we're expecting here, around 140 something on average. Very nice. Looks beautiful, runs smooth. Again, if you compare this this old hardware to some of the newer 3rd gen Ryzen's or the 9th or 10th gen Intel processors, I mean, I don't think there's much difference.
Federal Bureau of Control. All these years I've been looking for them, and they were hiding in plain sight. Hello? Hey, excuse me? Got it. I've done enough night shift loaner jobs to know it makes us come off weird. Auntie the janitor is a friendly face in my book.
Alright, let's switch to 4K now. And again, as you could see, we're on a high preset here.
But that's it.
And yeah, that seems right. We're not at 60 FPS with the RTX 2080 Ti, and that seems to be on par with all the other modern hardware. This game wasn't able to run 60 FPS even with the RTX 2080 Ti, believe it or not. That's how tough this game to run. So this sounds about right, around, you know, close to 50 FPS on average, depends which parts you're in. So again, this looks on par with any other modern processors. And finally, of course, with the new RTX 3080, you could run this thing on 4K above 60 FPS. I think just a little bit more, that's it. But the 1080 is definitely very good when it comes to this game.
You want me to pick it up? The murder weapon? Really? Oh, look at this place. Where am I? The same gun. Okay. Now I have a gun.
Alright, so that concludes Control. Let's move on to the next game. So here is Horizon. This is one of more tougher games to run on PC. Not the best optimized. So let's see how well this setup does. Alright, we are on 1080p full screen and we are on the ultra settings. Every single option maxed out except motion blur is off. That is the only thing that is off. Now this is a DirectX 12 only title, so we have no choice to run it on DX11, and I'm pretty sure if they had that option, this game would run a lot better, but that's what we're stuck with. And also kind of answer your question, how will this setup run on DX12? I think it runs pretty good. Getting decent FPS on 1080p.
The Nord tribe watches these lands and keeps out the most dangerous machines.
Wow.
Usually.
The graphics are real nice on this game.
Further downriver, we'll find a herd of machines, and I will teach you how to hunt.
Are they dangerous?
All machines are dangerous, Aloy. Their power must be respected. But I will be beside you.
Now, of course, a game like this, you know, you may get better results, of course, with oh, I forgot how to crouch. Oops, forgot how to crouch on that one. Oopsie. Yeah, of course, with some of the newer processors, you're probably gonna get, you know, better FPS with the DirectX 12 titles, but I think this thing still handles it pretty well.
Listen close. Stay still. Wait for it to pass. Now keep low and follow me across the trail to that tall grass. Oh, another one. Let it pass. Come, back this way. The slower you move, the quieter you'll be. And crouched walking is quieter than upright.
Alright, let's see how it looks on 4K. Not bad on 1080p. Getting over 100 FPS on average, I think that's pretty good. Again, we're on ultra settings with the motion blur off. Oh, where'd he go? Oh, there he
That's
is.
the last of them. Let's move on.
And as you can see, we're on 4K. We're our looks like almost at averaging about 60 FPS.
They didn't see or hear you. Now stay close. That herd should be just ahead.
Oh, there we go. So, you know, that's pretty good, I think. I think that's pretty much what you're going to get with the RTX on this game. You know, close enough to 60 FPS.
Come now. Let's find that herd. Follow.
Let me see how this cave looks. Ooh, pretty nice. Oh yeah, that's nice. That's a nice scene right there. Alright, so that concludes the test for this game. Looks like there's going to be one more left. Let's see what game I'm going to choose, so stay tuned for the last game. So I'm wrapping up this video with Assassin's Creed. This is one of the tougher games to run, and perhaps here we will see some bottleneck compared to some of the other premium platforms on the Intel and the AMD side. So let's take a look at the settings. Start off with 1080p full screen, and we are on the very high settings. That seems like these are the settings that everybody's testing with. There it is. Okay, these are the kind of numbers we expect to get. Yeah, and here, this is one of the games that will show you some bottleneck, because I will get the same exact frame rates on 1440p, and you know, very close. And I, you know, should be getting a, you know, noticeably more in this resolution. Now, of course, if you go in certain areas, you might get better FPS here, but overall, I don't think it's too bad of a bottleneck here. We're still getting pretty nice FPS. I feel like you know, it would have been nice if it's like 110, 120 on average. That'll be something nice, but still not bad. Not as bad as what I've seen in some of the reviews out there on some benchmarks on video, you know. So it's not as bad as it seems.
By the gods, what's happened here?
Yeah, what's happened here? Uh-oh. Alright, so let's see how the 4K looks. Again, we are on the very high settings. Here you go. And that's where, you know, that's what we could hope for, you know, around 60 FPS, not bad. It looks like the system is getting a little bit hot. So that's gonna wrap up this video. Let me know what you guys think. Is it worth upgrading this older platform that's 6 years old now, over 6 years old, to something new for the latest Nvidia graphics cards? My opinion at the end, no, not at all. There's still a lot of juice to play with, different settings, different clock speeds. You could do just 4 cores, hyperthread disabled. I've seen really good results with that too. This time I'm running just on all 8 threads throughout this whole test. So there you have it. Let me know what you think, and I'll see you guys in another video. Goodbye.